Hey guys, I'm Emily Powers, and today we're going to be painting this tropical palm tree silhouette landscape. I don't know exactly. I know I'm obviously going to have palm tree silhouettes in the name, but I don't know exactly what I would call this back here. But it's going to be really fun, and it should be easier for beginners. So if you're new to painting, and I think this will be an easier one to do. I'm doing it on a 9 by 12 inch canvas panel, and it's a Phoenix canvas panel, and the colors I'm using are titanium white, deep magenta, cadmium red medium, cadmium yellow medium, and Mars black. So if you don't have these exact colors, just use whatever you have, just basically white, black, and then like a pink, red, and yellow is basically all you're gonna need. And then the brushes, I have I think I'm gonna use this 1/2 inch flat, but it's kind of a floppier one, so I don't know, I might decide that I want to change and use something else, but whatever I do end up using will be in the description, so you can look at that. And then I'm gonna use the fan brush for the trees and possibly in the water, and then the small round for like the trunks of the trees. So I'm just going to take my spray bottle and spray my canvas and my paint, keep the paint wet and get the paint flowing better on the canvas. And what I did here is I just took a watercolor pencil and a ruler, and I went just a little bit above the halfway mark and tried to get it even by measuring like this. It looks like it's kind of slanting up. So with these cheaper canvas panels, one side could be a little crooked compared to the other, and it might get your lines off. But I'm just gonna, paint it straighter when I do that. So that's all I did, is I marked a straight line with a ruler. And I'm gonna take this 1/2 inch flat and start. So I'm not going to bother with the sun at the moment. I will just go back with white later and go back over the red. It'll make it a little easier, I think, to put it in instead of having to go around it. And I was going to say, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I do a new video every Friday, and I've been doing a few brush demonstrations as I paint with the brushes, just to help you learn how to use different brushes and know what some of the differences are and things like that. So I'm adding white just because these reds and yellows I'm using are, they're transparent, so I've done it before where you can just do the color pure, and I did that in the boy flying a kite silhouette. But I'm going to try, it tends to leave streaks when you do that, so I'm going to try to limit the streaks. At least with these textured canvases, it tends to leave streaks, and the transparent, I don't know, it does something with me. I don't know if it's just something that I have a problem with, but I'm going to try to fix that by doing this. And hopefully we won't have to cover it so many times. I always get stuff in my paint while I'm doing the video. It's just going to happen. So I have got the white, the cadmium red medium, and the cadmium yellow medium. And now I'm just going to do more red and some of the deep magenta to kind of change the color, and it'll turn it more of a cherry red than this bright red. And I'm not going to add as much of the white in it this time. And I'm not being super careful with the lines, because when we do the water, we can and define it more. I'm telling you, I always get something in my paint while I'm doing a video. It's kind of ridiculous. So I'm just going back and forth, and I put that lighter color in this middle where the sun is, and it's going to be bright and shining into, you know, it's going to be kind of, if the sun's in the middle, it'll be kind of bright right around that, and then as you go out, it will get a little darker. So just trying to make that effect. I think I'm going to just keep mixing that color, and as I go, the white will kind of vanish, and I'll be left with just the pretty bright red color. And if you get some streaks, that's okay. It'll just look like clouds or something in the sky. I just am trying to get it semi-smooth, but I'm not going to worry too much about every little streak. You can see I have some lighter streaks. It's kind of making it look like a cloud back there. And we're going to use similar colors in the water. This whole thing is kind of bright red. So like I was saying, I think I got kind of off track there. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I do a new video every Friday, and I hope you subscribe and like the video. And if you do end up painting this, you can share it with me on my Facebook group, Powers Paint and Post. I'd really love to see your version of this. So I'm gonna I just kind of took what was in my brush and added the yellow to it. Put that right in there. So it's got some orange because I had the red in there, but it's all right. Now I'll add some orange to the red mixture. Get some white to lighten it up. And I want it to turn orange, so I'm getting more of the cadmium yellow medium. And a different color than what we had. Don't want it so yellow. Get in there. I'm trying not to get all that yellow out, but it's kind of blending quite a bit. But I'm going to do more layers, so it's okay. And as I go out, it's going to turn darker. So I'm getting this magenta and red mixture again. Turn it dark. So far this is like super easy, so if it looks hard to you because you're a beginner, it's not. It's really very easy. And the silhouettes should be easy too. I'm going to do an easier way to do those. There are really two ways I have done it, or know how to do it. I don't think I've done it this way before, but I know that it will work. I've seen other people do it. But it's really not, it's not hard at all. So now I'm adding more pink to it. So it's getting a little more cherry and pink. So it's drying up there, so I don't really want to mess with that too much. And now I'm going to get some black and add that in. Get a lot of red. So it's going to be this really dark color. I'm going to mix some more over here so it'll be a little brighter. Don't want it that dark. Okay, so it's kind of neutralized now. We're going to do another layer up there so we don't have to worry about it not being as dark. And these are really fun colors to use too. They're so bright and fun. It's been raining so much that it's nice to have like a pretty tropical painting to do. It looks very warm here. There we go. So just going to blend that a little bit more there. All right, it should be, I think that's pretty good for the moment. So I'm just going to let that dry for, I'm going to use my hair dryer to dry this, and I will come back. Okay, so now this is dry. I kind of stuck my finger in it when it was still wet. I was checking if it was dry and it was not. So that's what'll happen if you mess with it or touch it when it's drying. Of course, in that case, I think it was just really, really wet. So I'm going to move on to the next step. I'm going to take the same brush, and this is a lot lighter than I wanted it. I added white so that it would not be as grainy, which it was kind of grainy down here, so I'm gonna have to try to fix that. But I'm just still not worrying about the sun. And I'm just gonna take, I think these yellows and stuff have already dried. I'm gonna make an orange. It's gonna be really bright. And put that down here. Yeah, that's really, really bright. That's good, right there. So we want it bright around the sun. You want it orange right there. All right, and now I'm going to get more of the red. Turning more red as it gets further out. I'm just going to go around it and kind of blend with it. It's weird, the hairdryer I use to dry my paintings all the time, I got it from a Goodwill, so it's You know, it was old when I got it, but it's been acting weird. It was like not wanting to, it wasn't clicking off when I told it to click off. It was wanting to keep going, so I had to actually like either unplug it or turn off the extension cord I have it hooked up to, so that it won't just suddenly turn on while I'm talking. But it hasn't really been doing it the last few times I've been painting, just it had earlier. Okay, so now I'm going to get the red and pink, the deep magenta and the cadmium red medium with some of this darker that was here. It's still wet. And just blend that in along that side. And you want to add water so it'll flow. You don't add water, it'll kind of stick and it just won't want to move on the canvas. So I'm really liking this. I mean, it's obviously some little mishaps have already gone wrong, but it is very bright. I can tell. I love the sky. It is very neat. I haven't painted in like a week because I've been varnishing my paintings, and it took up my whole what you call this, tablecloth? Took up my whole tablecloth. Can't think of the words I need to use. Okay, so adding more pink and get it darker. And remembering to add water, like I said, really helps. Seems like my paint's wanting to dry out, or it's just not wanting to flow lately. I guess it's because I haven't painted in a week. I guess I kind of not used to it anymore. Alright, now I'm just lifting it up so I can see it. The lights I have are, they tend to shine right where I need to see, and then I can't see brush strokes better. Okay. Brush strokes that are out of place. Okay, so now I'm going to do pretty much the same thing. Just gonna get this yellow and put that down in the water. Trying to get that horizon line straight. And again, not really worrying about the reflection of the sun at the moment. I'm gonna need more red and pink soon. It's kind of running out on me. I haven't shown it on a video yet. Showed it in my Facebook group, but we have a really fun schedule for May. It is going to be really, really fun, I think. We got lots of floral paintings in there. That'll be really fun. Haven't done many floral on YouTube, so sorry if I'm talking really low. I kind of start concentrating and I don't remember to talk louder. It can be really hard when you may not realize how difficult it is to talk while you're painting. You probably watch other people paint a lot. You're probably thinking, why did they have such a hard time talking while they're painting? It's really not that easy. I mean, what I say comes pretty naturally, but remembering to talk loud enough doesn't. It's like I kind of start talking really low and you probably can't hear me. Plus the microphone is above my head, so it can make it kind of hard to hear me. Just that fact. Okay, so I've gotten some of the red and the white, just a little bit of white, not enough to really make it super dull, just enough to kind of cover over these weird patches that we got going on here. And the ripples that are in this picture, I don't think I've ever done ripples this way before. So it's kind of like a experiment. I'm not sure how it will go, but that's part of the fun of painting, is you get to experiment with colors and all sorts of stuff. So all right, so I'm gonna get a lot of this pink with this dark color we had, trying to change it. We're gonna get that and a lot of the red and pink, trying to get a darker color. So it's mainly the red and the pink. It's not a whole lot of that darker color in there. And I'm just doing what I did before, just blending the darker in with the lighter. And put some of it down further on these edges. It gets really dark, so I'm going to use this really dark and put that in. That had a little bit of black in it. So I'm putting a little bit of black in here. I'm getting some of the pink to make that color again because it kind of ran out. You don't want it super dark. You could use purple. I thought about it because, I don't know, if you put too much black, it can kind of dull it and make it not look so pretty. It would probably be brighter if I did purple, but I just thought that would be an extra color. But if you wanted to, you could put purple instead. Dioxazine purple is what I use to darken my paintings. So that would be a good color instead of black for the water. But I figured I need black for the silhouettes anyway, so otherwise I would have used the purple probably. All right. Alrighty. So, sorry about that. That was the fridge. It's really old and makes weird noises. So, I know it's really loud on camera. I've heard it before. So, sorry about that. But, I'm just going to let this dry again using my hairdryer. And then we should be able to put in like the sun reflection and the sun and the ripples and clouds, things like that, before we do our silhouette. So I'm going to pause and come back. Okay, so now that this is dry, we can move on. But before I get to the sun and palm trees and everything, I'm noticing that it's not quite as pink as in the picture. It's a little more red. So I'm going to try to change that by glazing. If you like the red and you don't want it more pink, then you can just leave it this way. It looks really neat just the way it is. I just thought I would, you know, change it for it to match the picture, and this way you can see how to change a painting to just a slightly different color. If you like it the way it is, just, you know, you want the color to be slightly different, this is how you'll do it. So this is Glazing liquid from Golden. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that and water it down. This is basically the binder and everything in paint, just without the pigment in it. So I'm just going to take it like I would the paint, and I'm just going to brush it on right around where I want it to stop. So I don't want it to go any further than this right here. So I'm just going to put it here right there, and then I'm going to get the pink and add it to that. And it's really bright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the red, maybe a little bit of black with it, and we'll see what that does. Yeah, that kind of changes it to pink. I like that. So now I'm going to take that pink, reddish color and glaze over this area I have. So you can see the difference in these two. If you didn't have the glazing liquid, you could just use water, but I find when I just use water by itself, it tends to leave weird streaks in the painting. So I like the actual liquid better. Okay, so now I'm going to get it straight again, kind of blend out any weird streaks that were happening. It's okay if we get some streaks in the water too, because we're going to add ripples and things in there. I'm going to put some of this right along the horizon line so that you can sort of define that a little more. And wet my brush and kind of blend it out a little bit. Alrighty, so I wanted the horizon line defined a little too. Alright, and I'm going to do pretty much the same thing to the sky. So rinsing my brush out. It has a little bit of pink, it shouldn't be a big deal, but get it plain and put it right where I don't want it to go any further. And like I said, you can just keep it red. I mean, I think it looked really nice the way it was, but I just thought I would show how you would do this since I did see it in mine. So Way too much right there. Eesh. Alrighty. That worked out. It's doing it really good. Changing it really nice. Like I said, if you get some streaks, it'll just look like some clouds or something back there. Okay, so it's kind of jumping, so what I'm going to do is rinse my brush out and get some of the glazing liquid plain and kind of just blend it. You see how it softens it up. I think what I had on my brush just now really was mainly just water. But alrighty, so I'm gonna lift that up. Alrighty. Alright. So now I think I'm going to do the reflection of the sun. It's in the water. So I'm going to get the cadmium yellow medium in white. I think it's mixing a little bit with what was under it and changing it slightly. So let me see. It's right about, if you do it in fourths, then it should be right. So if this is the fourth, be right in between that fourth and then right in between this fourth. So it's pretty much right in here. It's gonna be so. And it's pretty smooth in the picture. You can see exactly where the sun is. Getting some water to help it to flow better. You could get like some kind of a cap, like a jar of a lid or something that's this size, and draw it with the watercolor pencil before paint it in, so that you get this rounded part a little bit more perfect. But it wouldn't be exactly rounded like some suns are. This is more of a, it would typically go straight, but it kind of, if you use the jar, it would go straight, but it kind of slants both ways here. Okay, and I'm going to get some of the orange color. Put some of that in here. It's not a pure yellow, it's got some orange in it. We're going to kind of tap in some ripples. Okay, and now can probably start putting the white in for the sun. So even though the sun's yellow, I'm going to start with white to cover this up. Good, it was already kind of orange there, but the actual sun is bright yellow. So I want to be sure to cover all of that orange color. I'm trying to be very careful. So if you wanted to draw it in first to make sure you've got that in there good, you can. Wanted it, you were scared to do it freehand, you could do that. Alright, so I'm going to rinse my brush out. I'm going to take it and just kind of lift that color off that I got out too far with. I'll probably have to do this again, but alrighty. And get some more of that yellow. Just putting a little bit more in there. All right. Okay, so I'm going to get this lighter color here and get some yellow with it, and maybe a little bit of the white. I'm going to try to put in some clouds, so I'm not going to have a whole lot of paint on my brush. I'm just going to kind of brush in some clouds. I might have to kind of wait for a minute because I'm afraid it's going to lift off. I can do the black island. So I'm just getting the straight black. I'm going to put some hills down here. Gonna make it kind of random. And when I found this picture, there's another picture just like it, just with different silhouettes. So I'm pretty sure this is they just edited the silhouettes in here because it was the same background with different silhouettes I found. I chose this one because the other one it was random, or not, it wasn't random, it was, you know, matched exactly from one side to the other. So this side, the same trees as this side, just flipped around. So I didn't want it to be that matched up. And I really do think that this is the same silhouette as this, just maybe bent slightly and changed a little bit. But when you paint things, you can't, even if you try as hard as you can, you cannot get it just that, you know, same way. So when you're painting it, it's not gonna look like that as much. So all right, so I know we've been doing a lot of drawing, so I'm sorry if you don't like drawing. I don't really like drawing, but I think we're gonna have to dry this again since I did the glazing. I just want it to be nice and dry for the next parts because I don't want to mess any of this up. So I'm going to dry it again and do the next steps. Okay, so this is dry now. I'm gonna work a little bit more on the sun. So I'm gonna do this yellow and slightly orange mixture out here. I think I'm going to take my scraper here. Since this is a glass palette, I can scrape the, well, I'll try to keep going on with it. My scraper been acting up, so it's like getting stuck, so I have to figure that out before I can use it. Alright. Okay, and now I'm going to get the white again. Just fill this back in just to give it another coat so it will cover that. There won't be any streaks. If I left it the way it was, all those brush strokes would show in the sun, and I really don't want that. So if your paint is thicker, it may not take as many coats to do certain things, but I got a thinner paint, so alright, let's see here. Alright, this reflection goes down a little further, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's a beginner tutorial and I need to not be so picky. So I'm just going to keep going. I don't want this tutorial to end up being really long just because I was messing with the sun. So I'm going to to get this orangey color again I was using, and I'm not doing the paint very thick. I'm just taking it and then kind of wiping it off on my towel and putting some cloud shapes in there just by scrubbing. Paint, I dry it and it must have been, I guess because it wasn't cured yet, it's trying to lift on me. So I'll just have to mess with that later. It's lifting, so let's see, a little bit of this down at the bottom along the horizon. It kind of makes the horizon line a little more defined. Put this in. Okay. Oh, I can't do that. Okay. Looks like there's some reflection from the clouds in the water way back here. There's not much ripple going on. You can see the clouds in the water. All right, so now I'm gonna do the ripples down here. Just hope for the best. I'm gonna try using the fan brush. If it doesn't work, I'll have to use a different brush, but I'm gonna wet it and get some of this dark, well, actually needs to be lighter down here. So we're gonna get the Cadmium Red Medium and some of that lighter color, yellow and white, I think. And I'm going to take it and just tap in these long ripples. Now this could end up looking totally weird, but hey, I'm gonna try it. If it doesn't work out, I'll know next time, right? So you're not seeing as much ripple in here, but you see a little bit. Okay. It looks like it might work here. Just trying to go in the direction of the ripples. I'm gonna get this darker color as I go in here because you do see it, but it's not as dark, so I don't want it to show up as much back here. And go right up to the island. You don't want it to look like you're avoiding it and making a halo around it. You can go back later if it if it's covering it or anything, we can go back. And as I'm going back, I'm just going to kind of just drag it along. Not really tap, I'm just dragging. And there's a little bit of, we're going to take some yellow and some white and this color and barely, I'm going to barely have anything on my brush and just tap in some of this white. I'm seeing a little bit of color back here. You could probably use like a flat brush to do this, but I thought I would experiment and play with it and just see how it works. It's kind of a more of an impressionist style. It's not a real super realistic look, but it is beginner, so there's some ripples that are kind of coming down. I get the yellow and this lighter color now. Put ripples. There's a little bit of yellow down here too, just not as much. So the further back I go, the smaller the ripples are going to be. Take this dark color and darken this up just a little bit. I'm going to get the red and some of this glazing medium. Okay, look at that. So the ripples are kind of going in every direction over this way. I might just completely go over that with this dark, whoops, didn't mean to put that in there. Just completely go over with the dark. And just do it straight, because they are straight. Sometimes they just, it'd be easier, I think, to do that way. So I'm gonna go scrub in this, a little bit of yellow, but not a lot. I'm putting in some bright red. Just go over the sun a little bit to kind of show that there are ripples over that too. And I'm getting quite a bit of white and yellow. I'm just trying to get enough layers that it'll be a little more water-like. Back here is not really very many anyway. There's not many ripples back here. Got too much black in it there. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna work on the clouds some more now, I think. I'm gonna get this brush and first take it and go over this I'm just lifting it up so I can see it. Okay, and now I'm going to take some of this dark, or this lighter, I'm sorry, not dark. Put that over there. Okay, so now I'm going to get the yellow and white. A little bit of this over here. I'm gonna make sure that it's bright yellow. Put some of that in here. Alrighty, so I'm gonna do the sun now because I need to put some clouds over the sky or the sun there. So I'm getting the white and the yellow and putting that right at the top. Then I'm going to get the yellow straight. Oops. Don't need black in there. Rinse that out. Get some new yellow because I don't want any weird colors in my sun after working so hard on that. Trying to get that green off there. Okay. Okay, and just put that right over. I want it a little brighter. The bottom and the top. I'm going to take this color here And right along the bottom, put that. Kind of work my way up. Just trying to put red down the bottom there. I'm going to take my brush, rinse it out, and get rid of that red in there. Okay. Alrighty. So it looks pretty good. I might just take a little bit of bright and put it down in here again. Alrighty. It's doing pretty good. I think I'm just going to take some yellow, kind of brush over those clouds and just kind of brighten them up. And I want some color a little past the sun, and a little bit of orange in there. And now I'll get the yellow, and later I can go back and brighten that up. Alrighty, so now it looks like we can do trees. So I'm going to get my round brush here and get the black and thin it out just a little bit so it'll flow better. And there's one that kind of stops right about here and goes this way and in. And you could draw these in first if you want, but I'm just gonna start painting them in. And if it's not perfectly smooth, it's okay, because palm trees, you know, they got bumps and things in them. So I'm just going to kind of leave the edge a little rough. Okay, then there's one kind of right here. It kind of goes straight up and in, so kind of just slants just slightly. And then this middle one comes up and kind of curves like that, just a little. And then this one kind of curves that way. And this one curves the opposite way. Alright. And then there's one that comes off and out here. Alright, so even though this one's taller, this one's fatter. so it looks really weird right now. It looks like just weird sticks poking up out of the ground, but okay. So now I'm going to take my fan brush again, get the black, and I want it thinner. I guess I'll start with this big one. So it's going to kind of flick out. Whichever way the branches are going. You don't want a whole lot of paint on your brush either. That paint down there's still wet, so So when you use a fan brush, they kind of are a little more loose. You don't have as much control over it. So if you wanted to control it more, you can use a round that's a little bigger than this one, but you can use a round and just flick the same way with not a whole lot of paint on your brush. You can get a little bit more control that way. Just gonna work mainly on this side at the moment, just to kind of give that sun a little more time to dry so I can flick on that side. Yeah, so I need to allow that a little more time to dry. So I'll go over here. Need more water because it's not wanting to come off brush well. So yeah, you could make them look a lot more realistic by using the round brush. This is just a more loose style. Okay. See if this is dry. No, it's still wet. May have to use the hairdryer on it. Okay, so sorry about that if you heard the scratching noise. I don't know how long it's been going on. I just started hearing it. It was a squirrel that was, he likes to gnaw on our gutter, so I had to go chase him off. But I was like, really? That squirrel is right there. It's so annoying. it's like I'm trying to make it not, I'm trying to make it look a little more full. When you get to this stage, you're thinking that, ugh, this is like not looking good, but you just have to keep going because it's only half done, you know, so you have just to keep going and you'll get it. So this one's still, well, it's getting there. Still not, I have a feeling I'm gonna have to dry that. I don't know if fan brushes come in any other sizes, but I mean I know that they come in bigger sizes, but I'm not sure if they come in smaller sizes. It would be really handy right now because this is a small little area to get in. Eight. Yeah. Alrighty. So I got that one. Now we'll do this is a small one. I'm using the corner of my brush to kind of flick some shapes too. So like I said, these two are not going to look anything alike. So you can obviously tell that now. Alrighty. Get a little more water to help it flow better. Okay. Then there's some here. One. Okay, I really just need to dry it. It's not gonna let me do it. So let me dry it real quick. If yours is dry, just, you know, in 1 second mine will be dry too, so. All right, let's try this again. There we go, that's doing much better. And do okay, so now if there's any sections that didn't get dark enough, you can go back and darken them up. Anything you don't like, you can fix, which this is a little looser, so because of that I'm not going to be super picky. But okay, well, it's not, it's still a little see-through right here, but I think it looks pretty good for the video. I can just darken it up, you know, so that's the technique, and then you can just go back and darken it. It's just kind of thick, so I'm not gonna worry about it. It looks good in the camera, so. There is one thing though that I want to change, is getting this yellow. Got a little bit of black on my sun, so I'm just fixing that. All right. Whoops. We don't want it to look like I messed with it, so. Alrighty. So I guess that's, well, let's see, I need to do this little cloud. There's barely a cloud there, but I have to put it in. And there's more yellow in those clouds. Okay, I'm good. Okay, I think it looks pretty good, especially for an easier painting. It's nice. So one more thing I think I might take together. Maybe add a little one right in there, just to fill it in a little bit more. Okay, so there's our tropical painting there. I'm not gonna try to sign it on camera because my pen's been acting up too. I've got all this stuff acting up on me. But anyway, this was our April schedule. So this is the last painting, last Friday of the month. So these are some really fun tutorials. This was probably one of the funnest ones, really, because I don't know, I just don't do that technique often with this guy. And I had done this one before, so whenever I'm doing something twice, it's just not as fun the second time because it's not as exciting, I guess. I don't know. But that tree was really fun. So here's the May schedule. I had already posted it earlier in my Facebook group, but I haven't shown it on YouTube yet. So this is going to be a really fun month. It's got flowers because I haven't done many florals yet, and this one's going to be a super easy painting. So like I kind of expect it to be like less than 40 minutes, but you know how that goes. I'm not very good with timing it. But and then we got the cute little duck. It's so cute. But so sorry if you don't like flowers. We're gonna be doing a lot of it this month, but I haven't done many, so I wanted to fill up my floral playlist a little bit more. So here's the next week's image blown up, so you can see it. I think I might change the tabletop that it's sitting on to gray or something, so that it's not like white and just like it's almost too light. So I think I'm gonna change that to gray. But anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I do this video every Friday, or not this video, sorry. I do a new video every Friday. I don't do the same video over and over again. So if you do this painting, I hope you'll share it with me on my Facebook group, Powers Paint and Post. And I hope you'll join me next time for my next video. Bye.